Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the They Call Me Daddy Parents podcast. Let me introduce my co-host today. We got Mack, and our other co-host, we got Mondo. My name is Torrean, aka Daddy, and welcome. How y'all feeling today?
What's going on, fellas? What's up? What's up?
Hey man, what is this podcast number 2, 3, whatever? I need to clarify something real quick, bro, because now that we getting this flow going, I need the listeners to understand that they ain't part of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't call you daddy, bro, and you be like emphasize. I just need to make sure that like I'm me and they, and so I just in case there's no confusion.
I've
It's
never
no
heard
confusion
nobody
at
call
all.
this nigga daddy.
We all know what y'all really know. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good.
No,
It's all good.
I know. We just clarify. It's all good.
The unsaid,
There you go, stuttering.
unsaid is what matters the most.
What they say, what's understood don't need to be said, T?
Exactly.
I'm with you.
Exactly.
okay.
It's always been that way.
All right, let's go.
Always.
So,
Look, that boy finally got confident. You know what I'm saying? Look.
Hey, man.
you question his daddy, he tighten up.
Yeah, man. You trying to challenge a king out here. I'm a fucking legend out here in these streets, bruh.
Okay. All right, legend. With your nunchucks.
We don't disclose what we use, But anyway.
All right. Now, what you got, Mac? And then I'm going to hop in on something.
What's up, man?
No, man, I'm feeling good today, man. It's a good day. We back doing the podcast. We finally launched. Everybody got to finally take a listen to what we created, man. I think that was pretty exciting. It felt pretty good for me. How y'all feeling?
Man, yeah, strong feedback so far, brother. Strong feedback so far. So we're going to try to be consistent. This is episode 3. Episode 1, we just launched yesterday. And when you're hearing this might be a couple months or a couple weeks ahead, but that's the reason for that is just to stay consistent. That's the biggest thing in podcasts. So we're trying to stay consistent for y'all, and we need y'all to stay consistent and listening for us. So together, we can have this parent conversation together, this adult conversation, without the kids. So
for sure. And just keep rolling with us. You're going to have some questions that we may not answer right away, but just stay along on the journey with us. We're just here to, start conversation in other people's households, to spread some love and positivity and just, heal, love on one another. That's what I'm on.
Hey, that's what's up. Let me piggyback that because I want to shout out Torrean. See, like, yeah, we be putting stuff out there like our original conversation, but we also be having our random conversations after the fact or before the fact, right? And so on that healing tip, man, I didn't know if we were going to release it, so I just wanted to bring it back and just like shout out Torrean because we were just on him about something that happened like 20 years ago, right? Like, hey, man, you think you should go back and fix that? And he was like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. And, 15 minutes later, he was like, all right, man, just send me bro's number, man. And so, man, I just wanted to literally, bro, like circle back and be like, man, that's been on my heart. Like, we thought it was important. You didn't. But out of faith and love, you were just like, man, let me lean into that. All right. And so, man, I applaud you for that, bro.
Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, T.
Yeah, I appreciate that, y'all. And, the reason I, said I would do what I did, it was on some Switzerland shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
big
it was
Swiss.
just strictly all Switzerland, just trying to be neutral, saying y'all need that from Switzerland. That's not too big of an ask. We can remain neutral and give y'all what y'all want. So that's the reason Switzerland did what he did.
Okay, so just for clarity, so you call yourself Daddy and Switzerland?
Nah, so Daddy is what people call me. You know what I'm saying? I call myself Switzerland. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So for context, but Switzerland is more. It's not like a nickname. It's more of a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like Switzerland is more of a vibe. Want to remain neutral.
Okay. Sure. All right. Neutral.
Well, how's Switzerland feeling today?
Man, Switzerland is loving life right now, man. Just checking in. Switzerland is loving life right now. I got something, fellas. I got a surprise for y'all. Can y'all close y'all's eyes?
All right.
Yeah. Close your eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to open this up real quick. It ain't nothing bad, fellas. It ain't nothing bad.
Come on, nigga. You supposed to have it like on your lap and ready to go.
Know,
bro.
know.
On my lap. Pause, bro. What the fuck, nigga?
He still gotta unwrap
I
it.
know,
You know,
man.
we
Like,
end with wrap it up, and
the excitement
All
kind
right,
of, you
all right.
know.
Go ahead and open y'all's eyes, fellas.
All right.
Episode 1, I talked about not getting my rock. I got that
Hey, that's what's up.
That's so dope.
I
That's
bought
what's
the rock
up.
myself, and guess what? It was actually brand new, and it's
Yes,
the only
sir.
one I could find on the internet. I've been searching for a rock for years, just trying to buy myself this rock. You know, I'm gonna keep it for about a week, and you know, my daughter already has her eyes on it. Like, no, why can't it be mine, Daddy? I said, honey, just let Daddy have it for a week, you know, and then you can have it, you know.
Yeah.
But she loves it. She's been quoting it, and you know, so setting the tone early.
Man,
Winners
shout out to
never
the family.
quit. Quitters never win.
Shout out to the Davidson
Yeah.
family for sure, for sure.
That's
For
dope.
sure. Man,
That's
how
dope.
you feeling, Mac?
Man, I'm good. I think I already, you know, my energy good, man. I'm happy to be doing this with y'all, man. This is always uplifting and, you know, helps me out. Started off at, and I'll be honest, I started off at 9 this morning, like, okay, let's get it. Got the boys ready, got them out for school. Worked out, like, let me take the shower, and then my shit dropped to a 6 or a 7. Living with 4 boys. There's always some fucking piss on the toilet, bro. I gotta clean that shit every day. And that's just me being completely honest with the parenting tip and all that, bro. It's like, man, like the smallest little things, like, man, y'all don't want to keep hearing me repeat the same shit over and over again. Like, man, hear the water when you use the bathroom, bro. My bad.
Well,
That's probably, you know.
I mean,
It's
you
just me.
pee on
This is me
trees, and so
Hey, I knew
they
you.
don't-
I knew you. Come on, man. Come on.
you pee on
Come
trees,
on,
bro.
Sparky.
Anyway, shout out to Drake, you know, for releasing and dedicating a new album to Mac for all the dogs. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? For all the dogs
Yep.
released today. So, you know, Mac got an album dedicated to him out here.
Man, whatever, man. Mondo, what's up with you, bro?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, Mac, I'm going to have you turn up your mic just one notch, man. But the reason why I wanted to shout out Torrean, because Torrean, like, inspired me, right? Like, I'm just like, all right, T, you know, you making moves, coming full circle, bringing folks back into your life. So I want to tell a quick story, but I don't want to put names in it, right? So, like, when me and T were going back and forth, he was like, man, but sometimes you got to remove people from your life. You don't want that energy, right? And I was like, yeah. But eventually, you know, can you let them back in? Like, can you open that love up for embrace? And so I say like 15 years ago, there was an adjacent member, right, close to the family. And I was just like, man, something about that energy is too conflicting, right? I know if we in the same space, we're going to be headbutting all day, right? And so for like 15 years, I removed somebody from my space because I felt like it was healthy. Well, in the last couple months, there's been some negative energy, right? Like that person's voice has just been coming into the ether a little bit. And I'm just like, man, how do I handle this? And Torrean being like, all right, like let me open up and let me be open to have that conversation inspired me to be like, yo, I need to have a conversation with this human out of love, right? Like, yo, Mondo, if you say it's all about love, right, then show up with love, right? Like show up, no judgment. And so this is literally just a public. Let's do Torrean. It's all good. This is literally just a public, arms open, all love invite to just have a conversation, man. Like I'm gonna just give initials to this person, ER, right? They know who they are. There has no more to that is necessary, but like shoot me a text, give me a call, man, and let's just show up and love on each other, man. So we don't have these issues anymore. So I just wanted to have that public olive branch extension, bro. It was on my heart to do that. So thanks, Torrean, and ER, holla at me.
No, for sure.
No, for sure, man. That's dope. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all, you know, part of the Switzerland vibe is, you know, it's always good to just find that healing because it allows you just to be you, you know, no extra baggage, no, you know, nothing coming back in the rear view. It just allows you just to be you and for you to be neutral. So that's dope, man. I hope you find that.
No doubt. On a flip side, though, man, another conversation I felt like we've been having is about, you know, we coming up and showing up as dads, right? Like, because we know how to be dads, but there's also mom dukes in the picture, right? And so I think collectively we're like, yo, let's show some love to the moms in the house, right? And we have different relationships. Like me and my daughter's mom are in separate houses, right? But we've been co-parenting extremely effective. Let's say I'll say 14 out of the 16 years, right, has been absolutely excellent just on the communication tip. So, man, let's lean into that co-parenting, bro. Like, I know a lot of folks listening are co-parents, rather in the house or separate or absent. But, man, there's a co-parenting vibe that needs to be talked about. So I'm going to just lob it to one of y'all to step in. Like, how would you start this conversation around co-parenting?
Well, first of all, big shout out to my other half, Ricky. I got to shout her out. We still live in the same household. We're still functioning as a couple and also as parents. So it's always dope to have somebody on the other side to show up and to show love to our daughter, something I didn't have in my household. Like, I never remember my parents together. So it was always important for me to have, when I had kids, to have cohesiveness in the same house and in the same family. I never knew what it was like to have a family like that, but like it means the world to me. Like, nothing better in the world than having an actual family. So shout out to Ricky.
Yeah, shout out to Ms. Mercedes, your kid's favorite teacher. We've been holding it down, I think, for almost 15 years now, or 15 years. Say me and Mercedes always talking about like our families, our upbringing, and she told me like, yeah, well, we're breaking generational curses in our families, and we both, all of our kids are together, so we don't have multiple baby dad or baby moms. Like, that's what we have around in our family, but we ain't got that. We just continue to build and just, trying to spread love to not only our kids, but the kids in the community, just, anybody we come across, man. So shout out to Mercedes, man. She's been working hard. She's been grinding out here, and I'm just super proud of her and, love her for life, for sure.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead, Mondo.
Nah, man, I want to shout out just that dynamic, right? Like, in community, right? Middle of St. Paul, just that household that's right across the street from the park, and just bring in community together, right? Like, in just a loving way, and that being the mission is fire.
The dog part.
Appreciate it. Only when your ass around. That's what we take you. That's what we take you to have a little off time, T.
The dog part. But no, shout out to all three of us, because, man, ain't none of us got multiple baby mamas, but we definitely did not grow up that way. Like, my damn dad got 4 kids by 4 different women, and that's the kids we know of. There's probably some out there. So, yo, if you think you might be related to me, my brother or sister, please get a hold of me. I'm not gonna put my dad's name out there, but Papa was a Rolling Stone for sure.
Yeah. My dad lived up to his name for sure. He was a Mack all day, straight player, bro. So yeah.
Hey, I just said my pops is dope. I got what? Hey, my pops is just dope. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, like, I have 6 brothers. I have an older brother, who I don't know that well particularly, right? My dad had him at a young age, but still, just cool cat, lives out of state. And then me and Jazz, right? Same mom, same dad. And then 4 younger brothers by a different same mom, same dad. And so, yeah, man, I feel like we all got reach out here, right? On like how co-parenting and stepmoms and whatever, all the extra stuff, man. We got range, right? So, man, shout out to. It's funny because Brittany, my daughter's mom, she calls me BD, baby dad. I call her BM, baby mom, right? And it's interesting because usually you're like, oh man, that's my baby dad, and it got this negative trash connotation, right?
Yeah.
And so we just try to flip it, like, oh, what up, BD? What up, BM? And so, man, a healthy co-parenting relationship, bro, it really just is communication, right?
That's all it is, bro.
Yeah.
And once you get it down, bro, it makes everything so much easier. I mean, you always got your battles, and going through that, like, I want to know, like, what's y'all's biggest like disagreement you've had with as far as co-parenting or with your other half.
I feel like everybody on here fucking fronting right now. Like, everything is smooth. Like, it's
what I'm saying.
Like, it's a Disney movie. Like, it don't be a Disney movie. It takes a lot of fucking work to make the shit work. But like you said, communication's everything. Like, I seen this viral video the other day mom's cleaning dishes and she's thinking about 10 things she got to do. Get the boys new clothes and invitations for birthday party and so on, so on, so on and so forth. This is dirty. This is dirty. This is dirty. And the dad's washing the dish. And man, all I could think about is pretty much nothing except for the fact that he got a shit. Right. And it's like, yo, that literally makes all the sense in the world. It's like women try to wear multiple hats, I feel like. And man, we just try to, attack things when they come. Right. Attack things when they come in front of us. Boom. And we got to move on to the next thing when need to be. But we just want to be left alone. So communication is important for sure.
Yeah, bro, you got a household full of 4, bro. Hey, like we both constantly doing. You got to be a good teammate. You know what I'm saying? When you have that many kids in the house, like yeah, you get irritated when you do that, but just know, like, I'm over here doing some shit that you don't want to do either. Like, so it's just a constant conversation. Like, we got to check ourselves because I get frustrated, and I know she gets frustrated, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, we gotta leave all that bullshit and just know, like, we're doing it for each other, we're helping each other, and I don't know. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's a struggle. Like a boy just waking up, screaming and yelling. I know she's getting frustrated, getting them ready for school. So then I hear the shit, and I'm like, all right, well, shit, I'm gonna have to do this, so she don't bring that energy towards me, nigga. Like, so I don't know, man. It's just having a balance in communication, bro.
So what you saying is you play the guessing game too.
What you mean?
Huh? Like trying to guess, like, oh, I better do this because I'm not trying to hear that, and it's all a big guess.
It's being a good teammate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know she's getting frustrated getting their clothes together. I'm like, all right, well, shit, let me move forward and make sure, like, they got something to eat. They got their snacks, whatever, to get ready just to send their ass off to school so we can get a motherfucking break. You know what I mean? So, like in Mondo, he's like, man, my daughter's 16. I don't know nothing about nothing.
Man, I'm trying to think back, right? Because, my memory is, like, so short-sighted. Right before this podcast started, I watched the new episode of Loki, right? Like, I'm a big, just Loki Marvel fan. I feel like his story is dope. But if I really go back and think about me and my BM, high school, college, whatever, right? Like, we were literally just two Lokis, right? Like cats that, man, mischievous, you know what I'm saying? If we ain't in your face, bro, you don't know what neither one of us are doing, right? And so knowing that we were kind of both that same energy, both bulls, we're going to do what we want to do. I was more of a chill bull, like, cool, say what you want, I'm going to go do what I do. And my BM was more of a, like, my way or the highway bull. But regardless, I should give that context because now Cadence, right, she just a baby Loki, right? Like, and so I think from the moment Cadence was born, or at least within the first year, we easily like did that 50-50 co-parenting, right? Like you with your mom for a week, dad for a week, mom for a week, dad for a week, switched every Monday. And it's been like that for the vast majority of Cadence's life. Well, now Cadence being in the middle, she's like, well, now let me see how I can manipulate my parents, right? Like I'm going to ask mom this thing, I'm going to ask dad this thing, and I'm going to frame it in a way. And eventually, like, I'm going to get the thing that I want. And so I say co-parenting for us, one is raising a beast to be like, well, yeah, if you can get through and figure out how to navigate your mom and your dad, can't nobody touch you in the real world. But also like, hey, fam, I'm going to need you to be honest, right? Because you giving these half-truths conversations, right, or questions, and we kind of get lost. So for me and my BM, it's really about, hey, what did Cadence tell you? Oh, here's what she told me, right? Yeah, and so, facts. Man, and then coming back to Kay and being like, yeah, why you leave out this whole part? And she look at you like Torrean looking up at the ceiling like, oh, well, y'all didn't ask that part. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's been our biggest struggle.
No, so Torrean said, like, we making it seem like shit's all pretty and all that, but, like, it kind of is. Like, all of our disagreements and all that shit be, like, small little petty shit that, like, really just little irritations in the moment. But, like, in the big picture, like, I love what we do. I love how we do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we're still continuing to get better and still growing together. Like, so I really, you know what I'm saying? Like, the piss on the toilet thing, like, it's all these little irritations like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like we're on the same page and we have the same, like Mondo said, as long as your foundation is the same, we're on the same page and like that, in that manner, like what's really truly important. Like, I think everything else is just pretty much like, just little shit that don't really matter.
So, Mac, do you live in fear? Because
No,
you have seen the
no.
kennel a few times, bro. Like
Here you
you
go.
have seen the kennel a few times.
No,
All
I'm
right,
good.
real question then. Let's go there. Like, is there actual, because I don't live with my BM, is there a doghouse? Like, what really is that? Like, how do you get in trouble, or do you get in trouble, or is it like, no, we just have a conversation at the end of the night?
Well, all I know is this: I be hearing people like, "Oh, the men's gonna sleep on the couch." I'll sleep on the couch if I motherfucking want to sleep on the couch. Meaning, if I fall asleep on that motherfucker, but I'm not feeling like, oh, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna go sleep on the couch. Like, what kind of bullshit is that, man? Like, I
Yeah,
don't
that
think
shit
that
ain't
happened in
real.
black households. I don't know if that happened in black
Nah,
households.
that shit ain't real. That shit ain't real. No, there ain't no fear. It's just
All right, do you go days without talking? Because I
that's
so okay, that
that's something
silent
I had to
treatment piece.
improve on. That's
Okay,
something I had to improve on. Like, she started telling me like, there's no reason to doing that because you're just making shit worse. And I'm like, okay, I got it. And then now that Mac getting older, that's his thing. He'll ignore the shit out you. And I'm like, okay, now I see. You know what I'm saying? But I used to do that, but I try not to do it anymore. But then, like, they always want to fucking talk and communicate. Like, oh, well, let's talk about it. Like, man, I don't want to talk about that shit right now. So it's finding a balance, but I did have to stop the silent treatment because it was making shit worse.
okay. Have you ever been proactive? Like, yo, if we have an issue, like, let's bring it up on Sunday. Right. And then like, yo, if we have an issue on Tuesday and it ain't really a big deal because we done forgot by Sunday, it probably wasn't a big issue. Right. Has there been any like system y'all put in place like, oh, we can't go to bed mad at each other? Or is it just is what it is?
It is what it is, bro. Because what's not a big issue to me might be a big issue to her. You know what I mean? It's like certain trigger words you could say too. Like, damn, I probably shouldn't have said it because I know this is how she's gonna take it. Like, so I try to be conscious of the things I say. But no, we ain't that structured, bro. It's day by day.
What about you, Swiss?
Pre-kid, we used to do shit like that. Now, when we got kid, now that we have a daughter, it don't be that smooth at all. Like, it ain't that smooth at all. It's, for the most part, it'd be like, okay, we're gonna not sweat the small stuff, not sweat the small stuff, but then, snapping occurs and it shit just ain't pretty, But like Mike said, it's all really just small shit. Like I feel like that's in any relationship, but the communication aspect of it and realizing like, man, men think differently than women. Women think differently than men, Like one of the things that be coming in my head all the time is like DMX said, like what these bitches want from a nigga. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Cause shit, man, I be feeling like there be some days I be feeling like, man, I can't do nothing right. And it's just like, man, like what is the expectation? Like really, what is the expectation? But at the same time, I'm pretty sure she probably be thinking the same thing. Like, what the fuck does he want?
This nigga keep chewing up all my shit. Like,
Nah, but for sure. I know damn well. I know for sure I get on her nerves, right? Like, I mean, she does. I mean, she holds the house down. Holds the house down. Has a whole system of how she wants the house to flow. And I'm just not a system guy. That's just not how I'm built. So there's communication errors in that for sure. And but
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in episode 1, we talked a second about being submissive, right? Like Mack really leaned into like, yo, it's a challenge to be submissive. So is it actually Torrean? I'm not even going to put it on you, but it's actually our responsibility to be more submissive to the system. Right? Like we're like, nigga, what do you want from us? Is it like to just follow the system? Is it really that simple? Or do you have to try to be daddy?
Switzerland says no. It's not that simple.
I swear, I feel like, man, I really want some women to be in the comments or something being like, yeah, it is that simple, or no, like it ain't, right?
We're definitely getting trashed, or at least I'm getting trashed for that comment. But that's just I'm just trying to keep it as real and keep it as buck as possible. Like, I was talking to a friend the other day, and she's like, man, my husband is just so positive all the time. Like sometimes I want him to get mad, sometimes I want him to scream or get angry. And I'm sitting here like, man, that sounds ass fucking backwards. Like if the nigga's positive, like let the nigga be positive. Like if he, but let's just be real. Like it's not women think differently than men, and it's really a communication thing. Like, we really are on two, women are from Mars, men are from Venus, or whatever the fuck that shit was. Women are from Venus, men are from Mars, whatever the fuck that shit was. That shit is really how it is.
What's interesting though, right? It's like Torrean saying whatever the fuck it was. And it's like, well, if you actually just listen and be like, no, it's this one, not whatever the fuck it was, right? So is it us just needing to be better listeners, right? We talk a lot about communication, but are we not listening? Because you're like, it's either this or that. And they're like, no, fam, it's literally just this. And so I'm saying that because you know me, like, I'm hard headed like a mug, right? And somebody can tell me something 27 times, and I'm like, I ain't gonna hear it till I want to hear it. And so the things that I'm saying out loud is literally me just being a mirror to myself, is being like, man, you should listen.
Oh, I listen. So, Torian, this for you, bro.
I mean, sure, there's a listen, but I think, like I said, it's both ways. It's both ways. Like, there's two people in a relationship. It takes two. It takes two to tangle, and that's why I'm never been one of them men that be like, oh, my wife belongs here, or try to, shit on women like a lot of men be doing, and degrade them and all that shit. Like, that ain't never been my style. That ain't never been my style, because at the end of the day, like, I want your opinion. You're my partner, not me above and not you above. And so, to your point, like, yeah, maybe I need to listen, but so does, listening is a two-way street. Conversation's a two-way street. Not one person can just talk and one person just listens. Like, this ain't a therapist and a patient relationship. That's how I feel anyway.
All right, for the fellas though, let's use a basketball analogy, because this is what came up for me as you were saying that. Like, T, it sounds like for you, it's like, yeah, my relationship is Shaq and Kobe, right? Like, it sounds like a duo, a co-leadership duo is what I'm hearing. Is that an accurate reflection? Like, y'all are both strong. Y'all are both leaders.
Yeah, for sure.
Got it.
Same.
Yeah, same with Mack's household. Like, Mercedes is definitely alpha, and so is Mack.
Yeah, and that's what we work on.
One just has a thicker neck.
Yeah, but all it is continuous effort, right? And that's what any relationship. As long as we continue to just like put the effort in, like some days, shit, I'm like, fucking, I ain't got the energy right now. And some days she feels the same. But us always being in the same household, like, you got to respect each other's space. You got to know when she needs space, when she needs time. Like, just respecting boundaries, even though, like, you so close together. But you just have to understand, like, I'm conscious of, all right, she needs a break, so let me go take the boys somewhere, go do something. Like, all that shit, like, it plays a factor. So just get to know your significant other and what they need. Like, you got to read. Like, sometimes it's not communication. Sometimes you got to pay attention to certain situations. Like, okay, well, she needs time when she starts acting like this, or, you know what I mean? It's just getting to understand the person you're with,
Let me ask, do you guys notice a significant difference or change or something in your kids? Right? Like, when mom and dad are doing really well, kids act or respond a certain way versus when there's some conflict. Like, and then how do you navigate that?
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. They 4 boys, bro. They go run right to their mom, bro. They don't fuck with me at all, bro. They like, but I'm cool with that though. Like, go protect your mom. But they know, but it really doesn't go that far. We try to keep it light because, like, we've been together for so long. Like, we got all the heavy and the big fights. Like, we're past that stage. Just like, all right, you need some space, you need some time. All right, take your ass over there. And for me, it's like, take your ass over there, but stay kind of close. Like, bro, I don't like being by myself. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Like, but it's we gotta understand it.
No, that's what's up. Go ahead, T, because I know you similar. You don't like being by yourself either.
I do not like being by myself, and but also it does like weigh on my daughter. I grew up in a house where my parents were never together, but I was always in the middle, and that's a fucking shitty ass feeling as a kid. I mean, that can really like fuck with you as a kid, and so like that's something that I try not to do with my daughter. And I was watching that video with Deion Sanders the other day, throwback to when Shador was a kid, and he's like, you don't gotta love me no less, or hate me, or hate your mom. Like, you can love me as equal as you love your mom. You don't have to choose one or the other. My guess is they're, the household must have split, and maybe they were going through a divorce or something like that. But he's like, you can love me as equal as your mom. You don't have to choose me and then hate your mom. You don't have to choose your mom and hate me. And I think that's the thing that often gets left out, is the fact that, like, man, your kids should love both of y'all, and y'all got to keep that in mind. Like, you could be mad as fuck at me, but don't shit on me or don't degrade me. Don't talk bad about me. And I'm not saying my lady does that at all. I'm just using this as an example. But you don't have to degrade the person that you once loved so much, or once, liked enough to connect. You know what I'm saying? And whether that was like in some situations, whether that was for 5 minutes or, whatever that connection may have been, could have been a one-night stand, or it could be a long-term relationship, whatever that is, y'all made adult decisions. And so, putting kids in the middle, that shit's fucking bullshit. Switzerland does not agree with that. Switzerland would definitely get a lot fucking mad, more mad about about that shit, So, but Mondo, you over here escaping it, bro. Like, you feel like sharing your whole dynamic? Like, I mean, because you and Brittany ain't been together since Cadence was
yeah, it's been a long time. I am not a rolling stone, but I am a stone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
So does that mean you're like a pebble?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a name for it, right? I just know I ain't the Rolling Stone we were referring to start this conversation. But yeah, for context, right? Like, as I said, like, I was Loki, right? I was like, I'm not into being married, traditional committed relationships ain't really my thing. Look, there's a season where polyamorous was definitely a vibe that I was looking towards, right? And so co-parenting in a way where the dad is like, this dude is on the fringes with how he operates, right? Like, it was a fine line, and it's still a fine line, right? It's still like, dang, my dad be doing dad shit. You know what I'm saying? And I have to reflect and be like, yo, is this impacting the way that Cadence looks at males? Right? Does it create more trust? Does it create less trust? What does that do? And I have no idea, right? The more she grows, the more that I'll learn. The thing that I just say to Cadence is like, yo, I do my best to be honest, right? Like, yeah, if dad is dating somebody and then dad is dating somebody else at the same time, this has been something that I've done historically enough times to where my daughter was fully aware of it. I'm like, I just told them both what it was, right? And then, like, they were able to make that choice. And so I kind of look at Cadence, like, at that 16-year-old dating age, like, yo, you don't got to be trying to juggle and, like, hide certain stuff. Like, say it out loud, right? And if they choose to stick around, they stick around. If they choose to dip, like, you gave them the freedom to choose to dip. And so on a co-parenting tip at a 16-year-old age with the pops like me, right? Like, that's probably the biggest anchor, the biggest thing that I'm like, let me make sure I'm aware of my actions.
So Mondo, did you ever like set rules or boundaries around who could meet Cadence?
Yeah, I was never I'm dating somebody new and everybody pull up, right? Like, that was never the thing. And part of it was because, like, Cadence is an only child, right? So Cadence ain't playing that you leaning on my dad, right? Like, I even remember, like, being, in that early age, Cadence, 2, 3, 4, right? Even with my BM, like, we sharing same space or whatever. Brittany leans on me or does something like that. Cadence is that girl, like, get off my dad, right? Like, that's my dad, right? And so, kind of just saying that because I was called daddy before Torrean, but, like, it's always,
you can't even say that shit with a straight face. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
It's always been that kind of energy with Cadence. Like, she for sure is the love of my life. And so if any human comes in my life and thinks they're going to be able to step in front of Cadence or ask her like, yo, can she step aside so I can step, be by y'all? I'm gonna be like, nah, like it's just where I am in my journey. That may change down the line, but right now, like it's me and Kay. And that's not to like, let me like bring it full circle, right? Like there is a super significant person in my life that has been in Cadence's life. I don't know, man. It's like 12 years now, right? And so like, I'm just gonna shout out G, like for sure has been a rock for me and Cadence, right? Through all the Mondo's doing all his stuff and whatever, like showed up and showed out and has been a super supporter. And so I don't want to say that like I'm shitting on everybody else, right? Like there have definitely been people in my life where I'm like, yo, you stood by me like family, right? And I will always and forever value that. But it will always be Cadence first, though.
Yeah, and so like what you just said, Mondo, is something I don't know if it's reverse. Mac, I don't know if this is reverse, but I feel like that daughter, significant other, wanting dad's attention, that shit's a real ass rivalry. Like, and I don't know if rivalry is the right word, but it's something that, I definitely experienced. Like, Ricky couldn't even lean on me or like barely give me a damn high five without Rainey. Like, hold on now, like getting mad because she was touching her dad. And I'm like, it's something that's, I don't know if it has to be an instinctual thing. We can't be the only two that have had that. So it has to be an instinctual thing, but maybe it's just a protective, like, hey, this is daughter trying to protect dad and like doesn't understand like, hey, mom is okay too. Like, Mac, have you seen that in your household with your boys? Because Mondo and I don't have boys. Like, do they just be like, yo, get off my mom, get your paw off my mom?
No, but I mean, since we always keeping it a buck, them little dudes don't know how to take their ass to bed on time. Like, hey, daddy got some D's. They get the fuck out my bed, bro. They trying to wrestle with shit. I'm like, hey, this shit over with for the night, bro. It's 8:30. It's time for bed. That's the type of shit I gotta deal with, bro. Like, I know I want mom. Like, nigga, I want her too. Nigga, take your ass home for a little bit.
Hey, this is hilarious, bro.
Hey, Torrean dying laugh because you know what I mean. And then they end up sleeping with you. Nigga, you got a toe in your ear, nigga. You ain't getting none. Like,
oh man,
that's what I deal with. But
the thing that blows my mind is when you're like, man, it's 8:30. I'm like, nigga, did the sun go down yet, bro? Like, man,
bro,
I'm with you, bro. To
keep mom level headed and happy. What they say, happy mom. What is it?
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. Nah, for sure. But if dad is mad, I'm on that ass. So you gotta go to bed at 8:30. 8:30, bro. We need that break. But I'm gonna get this out the way too.
That's the dopest quote we had so far, man. If dad is mad, I'm on that ass, bro.
Hey, it is what it is. We keeping it a bucks, but like the biggest problem we end up having, and it don't make no sense, is what we eating tonight. That is the biggest trigger in the crib. Cause like we want some kids, like, oh, y'all want this? Eat, like two of them gonna be like, nah, I don't want that. It's like, all right. But that's the biggest struggle in our crib, bro. Just to keep it, I had to let that one loose.
That's funny.
Because I'm sure other people deal with the same thing, especially when you got a household of 6, and then they don't want to eat they throwing it away, and they talking about, I'm hungry. Like, well, you threw your food away. It's over with. My bad.
Oh,
man. Yeah, it's funny you said that because that's probably one of the biggest gripes in our house, too. I never know what I want to eat, and Ricky does most of the cooking. And so, like, at least once a month, I get reminded about the fact that I don't know what I want to eat. I'm hungry. She ain't cooking no more. All this shit, because I be so indecisive. Like, it's just like, man, I don't know what the fuck I want. And
so what do those chores look like in your house? So she cooks. Like, what is your counter responsibility to balance shit out, or you just like, nigga, I'm daddy and You're supposed to take care of it.
I'll keep it a buck. I'll keep it a buck for the podcast, but she likes to do the things. Why you look like that, bro?
Hey, because
you
you got slow mo, right? You was
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Then you gonna say some bullshit like I make her feel safe. Like,
right. Nigga, that's not what I said, bro. Nah, I said I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, yo, she likes to do things the way she likes to do them. And what, bro?
Because this is a polite way of saying, man, I don't do shit, bro.
Right? I ain't gonna do it because I know you like the way you do it. So
oh, shit. Hold on, man. My damn laptop ain't charged. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna drop the mic. Y'all keep the conversation going.
you gotta leave on that one.
I know, bro, man. This man just spin moving out of the whole conversation. He gonna come back like, hey, what we talking about, bro? Basketball?
Yeah, so these Chiefs, right?
Right. Oh, man. That's funny.
So, Mondo, let me ask you, do you think Cadence's personality and her demeanor, everything will be different if you and her mom stayed together?
Yeah, I think Cadence. So, like, right, if you're in a household, it's like I always see mom and dad, like this interaction don't ever change, the same routine, right? With me and Brittany living in separate households, literally it's like I get to go have one-on-one time with my dad, who's chill, zen, actually more Switzerland than Torrean, right? And then Brittany, who is extremely outgoing. I want to be out, moving, doing all the stuff, super active, right? And so I feel like Cadence literally gets the extreme balances of both worlds because we just ain't together, right?
Mhm.
Like, man, I remember back in the day when like we would try the relationship thing early on, because you try it out. And it's like, man, I just want to chill, right? Like y'all moving around too much, man. And like, I just want to be in my spot. And so all that to say, Cadence being able to see or being able to experience both sides of that equally allows her to choose, right? She's like, I'm going to take this from my dad. I'm going to take this from my mom. And like, she's been able to just design her own self.
Mm-hmm.
Has she ever expressed that she feels cheated by not having that experience?
Nah, because I don't think she knows what that is or what that would be, right? I don't think there's but like, her best friend right now, right? Mom and dad have been together since high school, right? The high school sweetheart type relationship. So I guess she's able to look at that relationship and be like, oh, that's what that would look like. But I think Cadence is like, nah, I'm good. I'm good with how it manifested for me, right? Not that anything is wrong with like, that happy household, right? Not saying that at all, but man, Cadence being an only child and the first like girl in the family at kind of that age, right? Or there's a big gap between Cadence being a girl and like another girl in the family. She definitely got that red carpet princess experience. You know what I'm saying? Right? There's uncles, cousins, or whatever. Like Cadence has been showered with so much love. I can't imagine she would have wanted it any different.
No, for sure.
Yeah. No, I always felt like that growing up, like a little cheated that my parents couldn't even get along. Like I mean, our high school graduation, my dad dipped in the first, congratulations, son. And he was out, right? And I think it was just to avoid my mom. I'm like, man, the shit's whack.
Mm-hmm.
It could be whack, especially if the co-parenting situation ain't if it's not healthy, it could be real whack. It could really wear on the kid. A lot of issues I had growing up, strictly from mom and dad, right? Like that's just how it was. So, I mean, shout out to y'all that the fact that, there's, healthiness in you and Brittany's relationship, and y'all have always tried to lead with Cadence first and keep her in mind first, because, I do think that's just the best way to do it, in my opinion. Like everybody got so many different situations out here. There's situationships. There's there's no perfect answer.
There's niggas named Mondo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
yeah, for sure. You want to keep going, Mondo? Because we can we can unlock some skeletons if we need to unlock some skeletons. But yeah,
look, I'm here for whatever. But I do want to say one thing though before Matt goes, like, because I remember in episode 1, right? Like Mack highlighted something about his pops, and I was like, give some background context because I wanted the audience to like hear a different perspective of his pops. I also want to offer a different perspective of your pops, and I know you're not trying to do this, T, because you and your dad have a better relationship now. But early on, I would say that like your pops was the best uncle, right? It was something that he really knew how to do really well, right? So yeah, like there's some shortcomings around being that present dad all the time, right? I get that part. But the thing that he did do was he knew how to be a step-in uncle, right? And so sometimes it might take for you to be that step-in uncle to then learn how to be a more present dad. And so I just want to like show love, right? Like that, I'm just saying that to show love, not to belittle your experience or anybody's experience, but just be like, yo, like folks be trying, like, and they might not know or might not see the errors that they're making, but everybody be trying.
No, for sure. And everything I'm saying ain't the shit on my dad. Like but it's my truth.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm never gonna not speak my truth. And so, you know, this ain't a you know, I'm not even coming from it from a poor me aspect of it, because me and my dad we've been as thick as thieves, or as tight as we possibly can for shit 15, 16 years. Like, I mean, he's one of my best friends. That's something I always say about my dad. He's one of my best friends, and so this ain't the shit on him. And like, I think he wouldn't even mind me even having these conversations either. So it's not. It ain't no negative energy, but you got to bring real perspective, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to keep it a fucking real as fuck, And Switzerland can't say fucking, and Switzerland can't say fuck enough. Like we're here to keep it a buck, bro.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. That's what's up. You really close to it, and I was just like, we know your relationship with your pops now, but everybody else doesn't. And I started to hear cats like, man, his dad is trash, and so I was just saying that so you can say what you just said, right? Which is like, yo, me and my dad been best friends for a long time. So,
nah, but he was a real ass nigga though. Like he was one of the dudes out here that's relatable to somebody that's out here, And so like when Mondo says, oh, I wasn't a Rolling Stone, I was a Stone. People might say, oh no, you was one of these trashy dudes too. That's like that's just, let's just keep it a buck. And like, but I don't think that anybody is trash. I think you just unless you just deliberately just out here creating kids and fucking ignoring them, then that's some bullshit, and you're a bitch ass nigga for that. But
Switzerland.
Nah, for real, you is. But if you're trying, man, or if it's like, man, this relationship didn't work, like, some people just love the feeling of falling in love, and then once they're done falling in love, they want to go fall in love with somebody else, and that might be the situation. So like, we try to normalize, like society tries to normalize how like men and women should act, and like that shit ain't always cool either, because if that just ain't how they're built, it ain't how they're built. So
no, yeah, I was just gonna hit on like the no, it's just not like not being aware, not knowing, right? Like me and Mercedes went through rough patches. I mean, we always stayed together, but nigga, we don't know what love's supposed to look like or what it's supposed to be. Like none of our parents, like, or my mom didn't tell me like, all right, if you're gonna be with somebody, then you're gonna have to do this, or like we ain't know none of that. So we're just kind of battling like submission. It's like, all right, you don't like this, so I can't do that. So it's just finding that balance and just, continuing just to work and put it in the effort, bro. Like pretty simple, I think.
Let me ask a question for the both of you. Because we talking about co-parenting relationships, and we talking about, like, for me, I'm getting to the age where Cadence is going to be out the house, right? Whether it's college or whatever, she's just getting older. Post kids being out the house, and I know it's a ways away, but is it like, do you even think about that at this age? Right? Like, man, we got kids that's 2 to 13 or whatever, and we're building something. Do you think like, man, what is life going to be like when kids are out the house? Or is that not even something that even comes up in conversation? It's just me being curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it often. I mean, I know we're going to touch on we're going to have a conversation on fear, but I think about it constantly because I think I was talking to Mondo about this, like, but I never met any of my grandfathers. So, nigga, it's always on my mind. Like, man, I gotta be healthy. I gotta make sure I do this because, nigga, I want to meet my grandchildren. Like, we're gonna be them grandparents at all the games, at schools. Like, that's something I'm looking forward to. And me and Mercedes talk about that all the time. Like, just being present because our parents, you know, they're there and they show a lot of love, but we would do it differently. So we do have those conversations. And the funny thing is, we always want the kids out the house and shit. Then, like, when they're gone, it's like, all right, what we gonna do for date night? Like, shit.
Like, let's go pick up the kids.
Like, damn, I'm getting a little bored. I need somebody to fight with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
sir.
yeah, but
because
yeah, we think about it often.
8:35. You know what I'm saying? You know, outside of that, I'm just playing.
Yeah, no, straight up. But no, yeah, we do talk about it. We, you know, it's always on my mind. What about you, T?
Yeah, so I think I think about it from time to time. I think one of the biggest things that is really important for me is supporting each other, supporting our dreams, supporting our goals, and what does that look like? And at the end of the day, I just want happiness for her. I want happiness for her, but I want to be happy too. And so it's like, what does that look like? Because having a child as strong will and as strong minded and as dope as Rainy is, like, it takes a lot. It does take a lot. And then I'm transitioning in terms of a career. Like, I went from having a job, us both working, having a job pre-Rainy, to then I want to follow my dream and be an entrepreneur. So then, boom, I was a stay-at-home dad for 5 years, until Rainy started kindergarten. Right. So there's different pressures on that because she's got the entire weight of the household on her. Right. And it's like, what does that look like? I'm building a business. I'm in digital marketing. For what people don't know, I have a digital marketing agency. But, like, starting your own business is not easy. And then once you start it, maintaining it's not easy. And then once you maintain it, trying to grow it's not easy. And it's all this cycle, right? And so when I said earlier, it's like, man, what do bitches want from a nigga? Like, sometimes you feel like that because of all the pressure you're feeling as a man. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, sometimes I feel like, man, the whole weight of the shoulder, everything is on me. Like, like even yesterday, I'm trying to do stuff for the podcast. Mack's got technical difficulties on his end. We ain't able to connect. And then Rainy gets home and it's like, well, Daddy, I want to play. I want to play. I want to play. I want to do all these things. And wants nothing but my attention. It's like, okay, honey, like, we can do that, but I got to finish up work. I was in meetings all day yesterday. Went for a morning hike to another meeting that was really great. Why are you smiling, man? I know you got a joke, but anyway, I'm saying all this because it's like, this is kind of a real reflection of my day, right? And so then, I feel all this pressure I gotta make sure Rainy gets to dance. I gotta do all the things I gotta do, and then boom, Ricky, from her perspective, is like, man, I had a shitty day at work, or may have had whatever at work, and I got other things I got to get done around the house because her mind's thinking about shit that my mind ain't thinking about. And it's a real pressure. So long story short, man, like, I just want to be supportive to her dreams like she supported mine at the end of the day.
Dang, that's a lot. It sounds, I know we talking about being dads, right? And we know being parents can be stressful at times. Hearing that conversation, right, like, offers me more appreciation of just the space that I had to be able to, like, kind of have off parent week every other week, right? Like, having one kid and being like, oh, you're about to go with your mom for a week, man, that reset.
Mondo, like, man, I'm so happy I ain't got to deal with none of that shit.
Bruh, straight up. like, man, like, it's just a different experience, right? I like listening to Torrean say, like, what these bitches want from a nigga. Like, y'all know me, I ain't never called a woman a bitch. Like, it's just, and that's not even like saying like what Torrean is saying is bad using that lyric from a DMX track. It's just, I just have never been so frustrated in a way that, like, my energy just got that high, right? Like, man, where I got that frustrated. And so, man, I'm just sitting here reflecting, being like, man, God, thank you for allowing me to live this life that I live. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these different lives aren't bad or whatever. It's just different. And so like, I just really appreciate the privileges that I've been able to experience in my journey. And a lot of that is like Brittany being a dope mom, right? Like, oh, okay, I don't even have to worry when you go to your mom's for a week, right? Where there are other people, it's like, man, like, is mom on drugs, on alcohol, on whatever? Like, what type of dudes is over there, right? Is it party? Is it safe, right? And so for me, just really reflecting and being like, man, I never had those concerns or those frustrations outside of, let's just say that 2 years that we couldn't communicate, right? Like, I was just like, man, but 14 of the 16 years, I'm just like, man, this has been as much of a cakewalk as it could be. So shout out to my BM.
No, for sure. And at the end of the day, it's all beautiful, man. Like, I got a partner, somebody like I've grown up with, and I'm continuing to grow with. We're raising 4 young black men. Like, we constantly lecturing them, having dope conversations with them. I see how Mercedes talks to them and just loves on them and takes care of them, bro. And now, that's a love that'll never go anywhere. It's just knowing that you got somebody in your corner like that way, through thick and thin, through whatever, bro. It's dope for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no. We started off this conversation by saying it was all communication, right? It's all communication. Now, I could already foresee, like, next week Mack called me and you got to get something off his chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, me calling Mondo, got to get something off my chest, whatever it is. But there's no wrong answer. I mean, but everybody's situation's different. I mean, there's some grimy ass motherfuckers out here that just still don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get that it's about the kids. They don't get that it's, that there's another person that you still got to respect. It's just like, man, how do I take, or how do I, oftentimes, like, it could feel like that person is just plotting against you. Like, man, like, you just want the absolute worst from me. And so, but communication is where it starts. It's got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be a two-way street. Like, it can't just be me talking all the time. It can't just be you talking all the time. It's got to be, navigating the, navigating conversations. And that ain't easy either, right? If it was easy, the divorce rate in America would not be 50%. So,
for sure.
For sure.
Like we just got an hour in on co-parenting. Is there a final, like, man, we done touched a lot of topics. Here's one last co-parenting tip, thought, thing that you want to throw into the space?
I think I did the wrap up or the last conversation, so I think this one might be on Switzerland.
The Switzerland, wrap it up. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Daddy gonna wrap this one up for y'all real quick. So, man, just do your best. Do your best. And I think in episode 1, I kind of touched on this. Like, when did you normalize your parent? When did you realize your parent wasn't a superhero and that they were just trying to do their best, or they, are doing their best? For myself, I just try to be the best person I can possibly be every single day and show up as that person. And I'm not afraid to change. Like, I don't want to be the same. I want to change, because being the same, that's fucking lame and boring, in my opinion, right? And so just do your best. And if there's a situation out there, to kind of make everything come full circle, Mondo said, reach out to the person and just maybe they might get over on you. Don't even look at it like that, because if you're not even putting that much power on it, they can never have that power over you. So, I say that from Daddy, from a Switzerland vibe. We out of here.
All right, y'all, for sure.
Peace.
Yeah, so thank you again for joining us for episode 3 of They Call Me Daddy. Like, subscribe, and bring a friend.